And welcome back. Well, our next guest struggled to breathe, sleep, and exercise for 25 years.
Yeah, he tried surgery once. It didn't help. Finally, an in-office procedure called balloon sinuplasty did the job. And joining us now is Jeff Loveland, along with Dr. Madan Kandula with the Sinus Center at Advent to tell us a little bit more about this story. It's 25 years. A lot of people are going to say, oh my gosh.
Yeah, can we just get a close-up of you breathing? How does that feel?
It feels good.
I mean, that's a long time to not be feeling all that good and have trouble breathing, sleeping, and exercising.
Yeah, you should ask my wife about that too. She's well, what it comes down to is, 25 years ago, it was quite interesting because when you did the surgery, I was out for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And so that puts a little bit of a fear in you after you've done that a couple times, and you just say, that's why it took so long. You just don't want to go back.
Well, let's talk about balloon sinuplasty because you talked about it before, helping people and really making a difference. It sounds like the recovery time is so much faster with this. So how does it work and who's a good candidate for it?
It really depends. So how it works is basically opening up the sinus passages, and what we do is use a tiny balloon. Do we have a video or not?
We do,
okay,
yeah.
But basically use a tiny balloon through the nose up in the sinus passages. This is showing how it's done. We can do this in the office nowadays. This is actually exactly what Jeff had done. He was kind of not paying attention as much as I was during this process, but we're using a little light wire. We find this natural sinus passageway, and once we find that right spot, we put a balloon in over that wire, and we inflate that to expand the opening. So it's just, what it's doing is just getting the sinus openings open so that they can drain properly, and then air can get up in those areas properly.
Does it stay open though?
Stays open. So that's a really common question. It's a good question. Those are bony. When you're looking at those pictures, that's a bony opening that gets further opened.
Okay.
So we go to about 6 millimeters. A natural opening, if somebody's healthy, is about 2 millimeters. If somebody's not healthy and not having proper sinus flow, is less than 1 millimeter. So taking it to 6 millimeters is a night and day difference. And it's in the office nowadays, very low key, which is a big change from how things were done in the past.
Mm-hmm. And specifically, when you evaluated Jeff, what did you find?
So he had previous surgery, so we see some of those changes both in real life and on his CT scan. And what we found is he had some key areas of blockage, both through the breathing passages and the sinus passages. And we talked it through basically as far as what the options were moving forward from there, whether we just deal with it, whether we do the in-office procedure, or more of the traditional sinus surgery sides of things, and Jeff decided to go with the in-office.
Mm-hmm. See, and I think there are certain things about having an in-office procedure that sound pretty good, but also could be a little bit scary too. What were your thoughts about that?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm not a small guy, and I work out, and I was scared to death. So I even tell my friends, when I see them, and family members that are saying I've got a problem, and they want to talk more about it. I'm a big chicken. And going in and getting anything done, and I'm scared of needles, and I'm scared of all that. I mean, I've got more fears than I ever thought I did until you go in. But when I went in, it was so fast, so easy. And when I was finished and came back out, I just basically pinched my nose, sat down. My wife came in. She says, "I can't believe you're finished already." I said, "Me neither." And I said, "I can actually breathe right now."
Right away.
Right away. It was instant. Even with even after going in, that night when I went home, my wife said it was the first time that I slept through the night without snoring.
Oh, I bet you felt so much better.
Well, yeah, when you sleep, I woke up the next day, I didn't have bags under my eyes, I didn't feel like, I didn't feel tired, felt more alert. And then after a couple days, I went back to work out. You're supposed to breathe out of your nose, breathe in, and then breathe out through your mouth. Well, you have to breathe out and in through your mouth, so it was really difficult for me for a lot of things.
How do you feel about that? I mean, that's like life-changing. If someone suffers for 25 years, I mean, it affects relationships, it affects how you can sleep, it affects how you can breathe, whether or not you can exercise, and to be able to provide instant relief.
It's cool. It really is. It's nice. It's nice to have these options. I mean, this isn't necessarily the right fit for everybody, but I've been surprised with how well people do, both having it done and then on the back end. It's been really remarkable.
And are people awake for it, and do you do any sort of anesthetic?
Yeah, we numb it up, so we would do a local anesthetic. Some folks would choose to take a sedative before they have it done, like a Valium, just to kind of take the edge off, which is fine. That's a personal preference, and either way is fine. Folks, who choose not to do it, they'll tend to do fine. Folks who know themselves and kind of feel like, boy, I think I'm going to need a little sedation, and that's fine. And it's not, you're not asleep for it, but it's very comfortable. It's really not a big deal as far as having it done.
And his story is that that typical, the success rate?
Yeah, I mean, it tends to be very, very successful. I mean, we all pretty much always are going to move the ball forward. We want to get over the goal line, and I think most of the times we do that. You know, again, it's me trying to figure out what the right fit for somebody is, and them trying to figure out, is this a good deal for them.
You'd obviously recommend this because your recovery was so quick. And this works even for people like Jeff who've had surgery or tried a lot of different options in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, certainly folks who've never had anything done, there certainly can be candidates. Folks who've had things done, then they can be candidates. And it really doesn't change what we do. It's just a matter of evaluating it properly and figuring out, again, what's the right fit and what's going to really help the cause.
Yeah.
All right, let's all do it together. One more big breath in. That's nice, Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Well, here's the information for Advent so that you can contact them if you have any information.
Yep, here's
questions.
the Sinus Center at Advent. They're located on North Mayfair Road in Wauwatosa. The phone number to make an appointment or have your questions answered is 414-771-6780, or the website is Advent.md. Great to have you both here. Breathing easy.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate your time.